I'm going to give this a try again. I think I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to really make this rose really full, and this is packing tape. And I've got this one started. I want to add one more little layer. And so these are like 2 pieces of about 36-inch packing tape. Just, you know, your 3M or whatever. Fold it in half. And let me show you, I'm folding it in half, and I'm just kind of lightly pressing every 4 or 5 inches. I want it kind of ripply, not perfectly folded. So you can see it's kind of, you know, kind of wonky. And then the folded side face down, and I'm just going to add it on around this little rose, around the edge. And at the very end, I'm just going to secure it with a piece of tape to kind of keep that end in place. And I'm just going to do 2 instead of 4, just so I can save on time. I could do 4, but we're just going to try 2 for this experiment. So they're kind of clusters. I'm going to mix up 2 ounces for each one, maybe 2.5, so 5 at the most. And I'm just going to take a mixing cup that I've already used. I'll use this one. It's got measurements on the side, but it's got resin in it that's cured. I'm just going to go with the medium viscosity. Got my timer here set for 6 minutes. B first, and then A. I'm going to do 5 ounces. These coasters hold over 4 ounces each. I have my timer. Gonna mix. You don't have to go fast. You just need to do consistently around, not back and forth. It's going to be cloudy at first, but you just do this continually. Can be slow if you want to. You don't have to rush it. And I'll fast forward till 6 minutes. Okay, so the 6 minutes is up, and I'm going to add Spectrum dye by Counterculture DIY. I'll use Scarlet. 1, 2. Three, 4. And red Bray Reese alcohol ink. 1, 2. I'm going to take some Sparkle Diamonds That Are Gold by Laura's Art Corner. I'm going to go ahead and put them in first. Just right in the middle. And then go around so that it doesn't push those glass bits out. One, two, 1, 2. That's the red alcohol ink. just going to take that and kind of spread it out. I'm not trying to get near the glass bits. Actually, I use the low temp heat gun on low. Alcohol is a good way to also get rid of surface bubbles. Now we're going to take and we're going to put that folded side down. So there's some high spots where the folded tape is higher than touching the resin, but that's okay. And the same over here, it's a little bit high, but I'm just going to leave it as is. Just make sure it's kind of touching on all the outside edges. And then I'm going to leave it about 5 hours and come back and check it. I'll be back. Okay, it's been 5 hours. Let's see if we can take this plastic out. Alright, there are some raised areas I'm going to probably cut down. You've got to really hold the resin inside the mold. Don't let it pop out, because then your white will sink down underneath when you're doing the second coat. The main thing is just finding the end point to start with. Also, the key with this is to not fold that tape real tight in half. Leave it loose so it does leave some grooves, because the tighter it is, it's just more like a line. And I've tried it multiple times. I've had many fails, and so just folding it loosely. So as you can see, it's sticking up a little bit with ridges. You can see that. So I want to get it kind of below the surface of the coaster. So I'm just going to have to basically cut off those pieces. I'm going to mix up about 4 ounces of fast set resin. You can use medium viscosity and just let it sit overnight to finish curing. I'm just doing fast set just so I can see what it looks like right away. B first and then A and B always. Gonna set the timer for 6 minutes and hit start. Same as the medium viscosity, just mix for 6 minutes. Not doing it fast, just slower. The fast set is going to have more bubbles, but it won't affect this type of coaster at all. Fast set is great for top coats, and it's great for a layer of color. So I'm just going to start stirring, and like I said, just kind of slowly. It'll start out cloudy and it'll get clearer when it finishes. And I'll fast forward through this part of it. It's been 6 minutes, and I'm going to use Cast & Craft white pigment. $11 drops. And white alcohol ink. Just 6 drops, just for fun. I like to use alcohol ink with all my mixtures pretty much. Fast set has a working time of about 10 minutes, and it sets up in an hour or two to the touch, and it's cured for sure by the next day. So I love it because it's quick. Again, you could use medium viscosity and just wait till the next day to unmold. I don't want it transparent, I want it opaque, which it looks good. So I'm just going to pour it in and kind of let it go into those grooves. Kind of go back and forth just to make sure you've got enough for both coasters in case it doesn't fill it up to the top. So there is some above the top, and then that would just have to be sanded down with the sander once it's fully cured and not tacky anymore. And then you can even put a cork bottom on it if you want to, just to kind of cover the variation in the white and the red color. I'll show you the finished pieces, at the very end of the video anyway, just to show you how I did it. Keeping my fingers crossed that this looks pretty good, with it being successful with getting the tape in and coming out easy, because I've tried this about 6 or 7 times with different products. Kitchen parchment paper, restaurant parchment paper, cling wrap, weather stripping, and this seems to have worked the best so far. So we'll see what it looks like when we unmold it in a few hours. Be back. Okay, very quickly, I mixed about 3 ounces of fast set blue label, not the turbo, just the regular fast set. 10 minutes working time, and it cures in an hour or two. That's what I like to top coat my coasters with. I have this little turntable which actually works really well, and I wanted to show you. On the back of these I sanded it, and these are just little cork adhesive discs. A little harder with gloves on. That covers up pretty much the sanded part that's not very attractive looking. Plus it also gives a non-scratch type thing on the bottom of your coaster as well. Then also I'm going to very quickly just spray alcohol, wipe down the tops and everything, and that'll evaporate. That just gets any last bit of dust off of it from sanding and that kind of thing. And so I'm going to put this on a couple of coasters, not just these, but it takes a half an ounce or less. So basically I just I don't know if you can see that. I'll maybe bring it up to you. This is more than I need. Right there. And it's kind of thicker. And I'm going to do the same thing. Again, that amount is more than I'll need. That's less than half an ounce on each. And I can hit it with the heat for a minute. I have a silicone brush. The cool part about this brown thing is I can be sitting and I can see through the reflections where I've got it coated, and I'm basically just spreading it out to the edge. And you want to take it all the way to the edge, and I kind of do kind of a curve on all my shapes really. It just kind of works well because it kind of takes it to the edge but it doesn't go over. And you got to do it kind of quickly because this is fast set and you don't have much working time at all. And then you just make sure that you get back to where you started. And then you can kind of spin it to just make sure you didn't miss any places. And it's not thin, like you can't really tilt it a lot and move it around. It's just best to do it with a silicone brush because you can be pretty aggressive with the silicone brush. So again, and then I'll let these cure for an hour or two, and then probably put a gold edge on them to finish them off for you. And if I'm short just a little bit of resin, I can trickle it. Whoops. My finger didn't work with me on that. Fast set is much thicker than regular artist resin. Kind of like working with corn syrup. Again, so just get all the way to the edge, spin it around, and just make sure you've got it all the way to that edge, but it won't go over if you don't put too much on. So the key is to get the right amount. And then obviously you cover them and to keep the dust from getting on it. So I'll be back to show you adding the gold. Okay, it's been a few hours and the top coat is set up. So I'm going to use the Pibio for Artist marker. It's the really wide nub. See how wide it is? You just push it down and it starts coming out. And so around the edges, and then I'm going to just come in, kind of use that chiseled tip to make an outline. And then there's the cork on the back. This is oil-based as well, so there they are. Got gold edges. You would have gold accents in the middle. And you can do this tape technique in any shape of coaster. You can use the geode shape. You could use a flower shape. Two coasters I have around, but here's a kind of a thin geode, and there's a thicker one with more ridges. Like I said, the flower shape, I used round. This is 5-inch rounds. You can make your own shape with silicone caulk, waterproof silicone caulking from Lowe's on a shiny plastic surface. So you can make your own shape if you want to. But anyway, I wanted to come up with something that you could use that everybody has around the house, which is the packing tape. Or you can get the little disposable rolls, but you know, just regular like 3M shipping packing tape. And that's what I used to make those pieces. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it. Share the video with people, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.